Greetings, programs. Welcome to Stegosaurus Studios. I'm Mike. This is the shop. And in here, I make robots that will not take over the world. It's Pit Droid episode number 3. Let's get to it. We interrupt this program with an important message. So I've just learned, well, actually, probably like 2 weeks ago now, but for you, it's just now, that Droid Division has come out with a new version of the Pit Droid, an all-new 2023 version. Most of the design changes are cosmetic. There's a few structural, but it's mostly cosmetic. And because I have most of my droid already printed, I've decided I'm gonna go ahead and forge ahead with the old design, though I may incorporate a couple of things that Dave's done on the new thing. So you need to be aware of that the stuff that follows will still be with the old version. But again, those structural changes I think will apply to both versions of the droid. So back to your regularly scheduled program. So I have here some pieces of dummy's neck. This is the lower neck, so this right here this end connects up to the chest cavity. And then I have the upper neck piece, which is here. And then there is a spacer, little round spacer that goes there. And then this little thing that the servo attaches to. And what I need to do is eventually there's going to be one of these that goes down through all the center of that and connects everything together. I need to get the right measurement for this aluminum tube, cut it to the right dimension, and then I can glue it into the lower neck. So that's what I am up to today. So I want to get Dummy's head and neck assembled. I want to do some testing. And I want to do some testing because I've made some changes to the designs. And I want to go over those first, and then we'll actually delve into some of the work here. So first of all, actually, let me back up. So in the current files, there are two versions of the head. There is what we call the posable head, which has no provisions for animating it. It's just a solid head that you can pose. And then there's what's called the animatronic head. Now, it's the animatronic head that I'm using. We glued this in earlier. You saw that. This is the lower neck. And the upper neck goes down over the top of that. And then there's some other pieces. And the head would be right about here. This piece will rotate on the aluminum tube. And so in the design, right here and here on either end is space for a bearing. So that's great. So that means the aluminum tube will be riding, the bearings will be surrounding the aluminum tube, and it will be riding on that, on those bearings and not wearing away the plastic. So that's good design. However, there's always a but, right? So this is the head base. I don't have the dome on here, but the dome goes like that. And then there are these head brackets. They fit into, there's some slots here that they slot into. And so it'll like that. And then those two brackets, one on either side, support the head. And those brackets connect up to the upper neck piece. So remember, it turns like this, but there's a hole in the original design. There's a hole in the upper neck piece here, and then there's a hole in the head bracket. And there's intended to be a little piece of, I think it's 6mm aluminum rod that goes in there, and then one on the other side. And that allows the head to rock back and forth. And now, what that means, though, is you've got plastic rotating on a piece of aluminum. And eventually you're going to have some oblong holes because of that. So I wanted to, because I'm an engineer and I over-designed the heck out of everything, I wanted to eliminate that. So what I first did, I'm not sure why I took the intermediate position, but so this piece, hopefully you can see it on the camera, one little hole. So I put space for a bearing. One bearing, now these bearings are only 6mm wide, and I figured, well, that 6mm is not enough meat to hold the shaft. So I just, I kept the hole, the 6mm or the 3mm, I guess, whatever it is, 3mm. Anyway, I kept the hole, yeah, it's a 6mm. I kept the 6mm hole and then put one bearing, but that still means plastic moving on aluminum. So I said, all right, I eliminated the axle hole completely, and now what I have is, I know this is kind of overkill, but it's space for, in this piece and this piece, 2 bearings and 2 bearings over here. So yes, 4 bearings total, but that gives 12mm of shaft on each side, which I think is enough meat to keep everything, to hold everything up. So I'm anxious to actually get bearings put in these and get dummy assembled and put some solenoids in his head, or not solenoids, excuse me, some servos in his head, and actually hook him up to a transmitter and start moving his head around and make sure that those design changes are going to work. Stay tuned. All right, so the neck is fully assembled. So in the next episode, we'll actually get the rest of the head put together. We'll get it bolted to the body. I just ordered a transmitter and receiver, or actually I will. I'm just about ready to cut the order for a transmitter receiver. So as soon as that comes in, I will be able to wire up his head, and I'll do all the testing. And then actually move on to the left arm, which I'm working on changes to that as well. So anyway, till next time, keep building all the things out there, as long as they don't break the world. Blah, blah, blah. I can do this. I really can.